So with a few of the FUT champs gone, I wanted to go over my formation in the 4-3-3-4. It seems to be a pretty standard one, but it's definitely one that you want to be considered, and we'll run through what the new patch entails and basically just the overall theme of what formations really need to be. So if you're looking for coins, check in the description for El Dorado. Depending on the coin amount that you're looking for, the delivery time is displayed on the website, and you'll see lots of different trusted sellers with reviews on specifics and also the ability to be able to pick who you want. It will also show how much they have in stock, and obviously you can see that they are verified members. There is 100% refund ability and also 24/7 support if you need any questions with your coin needs. Also, if you head over to Trustpilot as well, you can see over 30,000 upvotes for them. You can see how reliable they are. Obviously great feedback across the entire board with El Dorado. So when on checkout, make sure you are using the code JT11 for 5% off your order every time. Discount code JT11. Now let's get back to the video. Now obviously I do like a 4-4-2. I think that's normally my standard formation at the very much start of the game because it's very balanced. If you're not necessarily the greatest defender or greatest attacker or even someone that can run the midfield, it's got the banks of 4, the 2 up front. It works really well. As we do progress into the game, most years the 4-3-3 has always been a very easy formation to adapt to when you do have the better players. When you start to upgrade, especially in the past couple of years, the double, the triple play style pluses, then now adding the roll pluses in. This is now a formation that I do intend to probably keep now for the rest of the game, to be honest. I will try out other formations to see if I do find any that personally suit a style, and that's going to be the big thing. If you prefer 2 DMs, a box-to-box, 2 playmakers, an out-and-out cam who's going to be a half striker, then that works as well. But starting in net, we're going to go with the standard. We haven't got Martinez yet to really put him in the sticks, but Courtois has always been a fan favourite. I think he's a very easy keeper to get on with. Obviously, he's got himself the rush out. We're then going to go to the right back and we're going to just blast through them. We're not going to kind of go over every person you'll see. I'm going to go Thuram at the moment. We are going to put him in the iconic rise as well. We then have Paredes as one of the centre backs. And at the moment, I'm still going with a bit of Virgil. I'm debating whether to go with Yoro over Virgil or potentially Paredes, depending on how good that 92 really does feel in game. Left back, at the moment, I'm trying out a bit of Sakina, but we do have Teo 89 still that will predominantly be one of the options. Obviously, he's absolutely unbelievable, but we've just packed Sakina, so she's a test out in general at the moment. In terms of the centre mid, I'm still trying to finish Zidane, and we have had news today that double evolutions are coming, so we will be able to obviously put 2 evolutions in at the same time as active, which is fantastic. Vieira's going to take up the next spot there, and then we're going to have a bit of KDB in that cam role. In the right hand side, unfortunately I haven't got the links for her, but James is going to be at the minute on the bench, so Team of the Year Blueprint Yamal is going to be in there. We're then going to throw a bit of Vinicius Jr. on the left hand side, or that is striker apparently, and Mbappe is going to be the striker, so I'll swap them over in a second. So obviously this is how the team would line up at the moment, and depending on how Sakina does, I must admit, Teo Hernandez has been unbelievable. So she's going to have to bring something very special to overtake his role. And obviously having the triple play style plus being 95 is always an interesting one. So what I kind of go with is I like a solid back line. I don't have anything fancy there. I have defenders, I have fullbacks. I'm not necessarily the craziest defender. I like to kind of keep it nice and solid. Nobody moves out of position. We're gravy. I then in the midfield, especially with a bank of 3, like to have almost a holding mid. I like to have a ball playing mid and then somebody that's going to float in between. And I really like the incisive pass this year. So that is obviously the KDB role. On the wing, it's all about the pace. Rapid, quick step, whatever you can get, and to aid the striker as well is always going to be perfect. And Mbappe is Mbappe. He is due the player of the month, which is going to be a very interesting time to see, do I really want to upgrade him to a player of the month or just keep this version? And it will depend on play styles, it will depend on stat upgrades, and if he does manage to get the 5-5, very unlikely, but he's going to get one of them, so we'll go with that. Now, in terms of the team management then. So let's go into new tactics. We're going to call this the 4-3-3-4. And the code I will put in the comment section below, and I'll pin it so you've got it there as well. So this is going to be what this formation breaks down to. So obviously it's the 4-3-3, and it's going to be, of course it's going to change it. It's going to be the 4-3-3 attack. I'm pretty sure that's what they called it on here. That's the one. 4-3-3 attack. I normally build up style balance. You've obviously got counter and short passing. Balance is normally my favourite when it comes to the build up style, as I do sometimes take my time. Sometimes I like to rush it. It depends on the scenario in the game. When it comes to the defensive approach, at the moment, I've done really well with the balance. Half of the time, I do try and go with a high when it comes to a 4-4-2, but I normally have left and right mids that do come back as well. When it comes to the 4-3-3, I've always been a big fan of balance. It's just worked really well. Obviously, if you want to go for the deep approach, that is absolutely fine as well. That's going to be dependent on your level of defensive ability, and I think I'm pretty average on the defense. I'm better the attack than I am on the defense. So when it comes to the roles, this is where it's just a very easy one. Now, obviously, when it comes to the back line, like I said, I keep it normal. When it comes to the keeper, you can go with a sweeper keeper, but for me, because we've got the rush out plus, I'm more than happy to have him just as a goalkeeper and keep him standard there. Defenders, I like him just as defender plus or plus plus in Paredes' case, and both on the defense. When it comes to the fullbacks, I keep them fullbacks and I'll keep them on the defense as well, because I don't really overlap that much unless I manually overlap. So if Sakina or Taurim decide to have a little 1-2 with Vinny and they go over, then I can obviously either keep them going forward, and obviously with Sakina's brand new playstyle plus a whipped pass, that obviously could work into the advantage for Mbappe or someone like De Bruyne on the edge. So it could be a manual use more so than anything, but I don't want them just going up naturally. So that's something you can manually do as you do progress in the game. When it comes to Vieira and Zidane then, both of them have got the pluses, or the pluses in the roles I like them. Personally, I like the holding with the defence on Vieira, and I do like the Zidane as the box-to-box in a balanced formation. So he's obviously got the playmaker as well, but because he doesn't have the incisive on this version, I personally like him as more of a box-to-box who's going to assist forward, but also comes back as well. As you can see, he's kind of all in that area, whereas Vieira is going to be holding in that midfield as well. When it comes to De Bruyne then, this is where I personally have him on roaming and on playmaker as well. I want him in the middle of the attack somewhere, edge of the box if needed, kind of pushing up a little bit more to give Mbappe a little bit more hand of a passing option potentially, or a 1-2 with the incisive. That works really, really well for me with an incisive pass player. When it comes to the wingers, they are pretty standard, to be honest. I'm going to have them on attack, and I'm going to change them both to an inside forward. So I need to change them back to attack, but I have them, that's roaming. We have them on attack on both of them. So this is going to be them almost being in a free, almost like a left and right forward. So you've got De Bruyne not necessarily being a shadow striker, but he's kind of in and around the top end of the pitch. We've then got Vinny on the left. We've got Yamal on the right, kind of pushing a little bit closer to the posts. So they're kind of almost making an attack free. And then Mbappe will kind of keep up with that advance forward in the attack. Mbappe just does what Mbappe does. He is a very, very good striker. And it's kind of like with the without the ball, this is how they go. It's a very standard formation. With the ball, they're kind of a bit compact. But then Vinny and Yamal are always available on the wings as such. They can be pushed further out, obviously, if you manually do that. It's not as if they hold up and down this pitch consistently. It depends on where the opponent is going. If he finds he's got Team of the Year Hansen, but then a Team of the Year, not even a Team of the Year, say they got like a 90 left wing who's not necessarily as good as the Team of the Year, you know he's going to be pushing it down the right a lot more than he is going to go down the left. So your team would almost focus a bit more down that left-hand side. So it is dependent on where you want to go. I would suggest that maybe you do set up a couple of formations. This is kind of just my standard everyday use. Obviously, if I'm losing, I would like to go with a bit more attacking threat, maybe go into a 4-2-4. If I'm obviously winning and it's a really close game, you could then slip it back into a 5-back and then maybe have like Vieira come in the middle and be like almost next centre-back partnership. So there is a lot that you can do with this formation in general, but I think as a balanced formation going up and attacking, it works really, really well with consistent play, hard passing, and just not necessarily forcing every single time. You've got a lot of midfield talent going on, and it's a very interesting one to try and use. So that is going to be the code. I will put it in the comments section below so you can give it a try. It's a very standard one, but let me know what you think.